Okay, this is lesson 7. And the Gemara that we're learning now, we're going to start from Tanan, which is right here. This Gemara is based on the machlekes between Rav and Zeiri concerning the fine that our sages placed on someone who throws his straw into Rosh Hashanah in order for it to improve and to turn into fertilizer by getting squished by the animals and people that walk on it, turn into an improved type of fertilizer. It could be used to put into your field, and your crops will grow better. And so there was a fine that someone that does that, anyone that wants can take that straw from the street and take it home with him and keep it. And the reason why they did that was because straw was slippery. They didn't want people to throw their straw into the street and let people get hurt, even though it will improve the straw, but that's just the help for one individual that's going to later put it into his field. But because people can get damaged by that, so they didn't want that to be done regularly. There are other certain circumstances which they did allow, but not with straw, not with kash and teven. So Rav held that you were allowed to take, if you found straw in the street that someone threw there, you were allowed to take not only the improvement of the straw, how it turned into fertilizer, and now it's worth more. Let's say straw worth $20 was thrown into the street, and now it's worth 25. Not only could you take the extra 5, but you could even take the first 20 as well. So you could take a total of 25. Zeiri held that you were only allowed to take the 5 improved value, but the first 20 you had to return to the original owner. How you found him, I'm not sure. Maybe it was like right outside his house or something. Okay, so Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah. The way I did this was that anything in red or purple is um, the a statement and or an answer, and all the questions are based are in yellow. So I actually made a mistake here. Let me just fix this because really this Tanan, it's looking black. This Tanan should be in yellow. Okay, I'll undo that. It should be in yellow because this is really the beginning of the question. Okay, so it says like this: if someone turns over manure in Rosh Hashanah, gul is manure, or dung, and as you know, that's fertilizer, and someone found some in the street. So let's take off that first one. That shouldn't be there. Whoops. Gulal is again manure and b'shusarabim. He turned it over in the street. B'huzak b'macher, and someone got damaged by it. So chayiv b'niska, the person that did that has to pay for those damages. That's what we learned in the Mishnah. Let's put that in quotes. So the Gemara says v'ilu, but as for or whereas. No, let's do. Kol hakaydim b'mzacha, whoever wants can keep it, can acquire it. Zacha means to acquire, and kaidim means whoever comes first to acquire it, like Tani. So let's put kol hakaydim into quotes. It doesn't say over here that whoever wants can take the golol, can take the manure. It doesn't say that you're allowed to keep it, which means that you're not allowed to keep it. Now, according to Zeiri, we have no problem with this, and this is just a basic difference between kash and golol. Kash, which means straw, improves when people step on it, the animals step on it, and it turns into better fertilizer. But golol does not improve by manure doesn't improve as fertilizer by getting squished. You can throw it straight into the field. So, according to Zeiri, who holds that you're only allowed to take the improvement, so there's nothing here to take because it's manure. It doesn't improve. But according to Rav, that holds that you're allowed to take even the base as well. Like we said, the entire $25 worth of value. So why is he not allowed to take the gulal? Gulal has also a guf. Everything has guf, right? So the Gemara answers, Tana l'reisha v'adin l'seifa. We learned in the reisha of the Mishnah. Reisha means the first part of the Mishnah, that kol hakoydim memzacha. And it applies to the Golol, which is the end of the Mishnah. Ha'ifech HaSagol is the last part of our Mishnah, and Kash was the Reisha. And by Kash, it did say you're allowed to take it. So it didn't say it again in the Sefer, but it's understood that you're allowed to. That question mark shouldn't be there. 1 second, I'll erase that. That's huge. Now I have to make it into yellow. Let's see. No, that's okay. I think we got it. So, Tanal Reish V'Adin L'Sefer. This is actually the answer. Let's move this down. V'Adin L'Sefer. Period. Okay, we've resolved our problem. Our problem was a question on Rav, that why would you not be allowed to take the Golol? Golol is base. It doesn't improve, but it has some basic value. And by Kash, you're allowed to take the base. Why by Golol are you not allowed to take the base? And the answer is you are allowed to. So why doesn't it say you're allowed to? Well, it said it in the Resha. It doesn't have to say it again in the Sefer. So the Gemara asks, Vaha Tani Allah. Vaha means but. Tani is we learned. Allah on it. It means in a brisa. Asur mishum gezel. It says that you're not allowed to take it. Asur means asur, right? Mishum gezel because it's stealing. Mishum means because. Gezel means stealing. So you're not allowed to take it. Asur means right, forbidden. It's forbidden to take because it's stealing. So what are you telling me? You're allowed to take it, and it just didn't say it there, but really you're allowed to take it. It says clearly you're not allowed to take it. Question mark. So Gemara says, Ki katani asur mishum gezel. Ki means when. Thank you, Mendel, for pointing that out. Ki katani. When did we learn that phrase asur mishum gezel? That it's forbidden to take. Akula masnisin koi. Koi means referring to akula means entire, the entire Mishnah. Okay, now what does that mean? To him that already took it. Shakada means came first, vizacha and acquired. I'll show you a picture so you'll get what's going on. Okay. What happened is someone has kash. He throws it into the Rishus Harabim. This guy comes along and says, well, according to Rav, I could take everything, but Zairi wants me to give back the basic, the base, the guf. Okay, that we know. That's by Kash. That's no problem. Here we have Golol. This is a generic animal. I guess it could be anything. And there's Golol right there on the floor, some dung. And he's coming along. He says, can I take the Golol? So, according to Zairi, you definitely can't. According to Rav, you should be allowed to. The first question was, why doesn't it say kol hakodim emzacha? If you notice over here by Kash, it said kol hakodim emzacha. You were allowed to take it. So why doesn't it say it down here by Golol? So the Gemara said, don't worry about that. It means it. It said it in the first one. It means it over here. So we said, yeah, but it says clearly asur mishum gezel. That's right. Asurim mishum gezel. It says you're not allowed to take it. You can't take that dung. So we said no. It means it's actually referring to taking it off him. So if I would have another person here, and right, and he would say, he would make a little thing, can I take it? We would say, no, it's asur mishum gezel. Can I take it? We would say no, asur mishum gezel. So it's not talking about taking the gull. It's talking about everything, taking it off the person who took it. But really, gull you're allowed to take, but no one else can come and take the kash. You can't take the gull. You can't take anything. So that's our answer. The answer on Rav, and again, the question on Rav was, why are you not allowed to take gull? The answer is you are allowed to. Why does it say you're not allowed to? It means you're not allowed to take it off the person that took it. Okay. Now the question is, v'halav ktani hachi. Hachi means so, or such. V'ha means but. But we didn't learn this. Ditnan, actually this is supposed to be Ditanya, the Diktuke Seifrim, very important Sefer, that corrects our print of the Gemara based on manuscript, says, we learned in a Brisa. Ditnan we learned in, Ditnan means we learned in a Mishnah, but it's supposed to say Ditanya. Hamoitzi tivne v'kashi l'rishus harabim. If someone takes his straw into the rishus harabim, liz volim, to turn it into fertilizer, v'huzak b'macher, and someone got damaged by it, chayev b'nizka, he has to pay for the damages that it caused. V'chalakodim b'em zacha, whoever comes first can take it. Zacha means acquires. We learned that a few times. Umuter mishum gezel, and you're allowed to take it. So it's very clear that the asur, the phrase before asur mishum gezel is not talking about taking it off the person who took it. It's referring to what you're actually allowed to take, and it's referring to the manure, the dung, which you're not allowed to take. And you can't say that it's talking about the entire Mishnah, that you're not allowed to take it off the person who took it already, because the Brisa says clearly that you are allowed to take it. It's mutter mishum gezel, obviously not off the person, but the initial person is allowed to take it. So in our picture, it's referring to him. This person is mutter mishum gezel. That means not for him. Not, let's make an X over there. Not for him. But what mutter mishum gezel is referring to Mr. A. Mutter mishum gezel. That means that's the equivalent, but not him. He's definitely not allowed to take it. And this is what we're proving this from the Brisa. And if someone turns over dung in Rosh Hashanah, someone gets damaged by it, chayev, v'asur mishum gesel. It means you're not allowed to take it. We're back to our basic question on Rav over here. Why are you not allowed to take it? Rav holds that you're allowed to take the base, and dung or manure has base. It has a basic value. Calling it base, it means principal, of course. The principal value as opposed to the profit or the improvement. Okay, so this is the question. We're basically seeing clearly that you're not allowed to take the galal, and according to Rav, it would seem that you should be allowed to, because Rav holds that you're allowed to take the principal value from something that was put in the street. So Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, Galal karamis. Karamis means asking. You're asking from Galal. Asking from Galal. This is like exclamation mark. Davar sheyesh by shvach. Something that has profit or improvement, which means straw. So Rav would hold kansu gufa mishum shvachai. They made a fine on the base because of the shvach. Mishum means because of the shvach, because of the profit. But davar she'ein by shvach, something that doesn't have shvach, for example, galol, so like kansu, they never made a knas on the base. So in summary, if we look back down here, kash has two parts. This kash right here is worth $20. If we put it into the street, right, and now it's worth $25 in the street. So because you're allowed to take the extra 5, you're also allowed to take the 20. But over here, it's always worth 20. So they never made a knas on that original 20. It's only because of the improvement they made a knas. And the reason why is because something that actually would improve, so they're afraid more that you would put it there, so they made a much bigger knas. They made any knas rather. But if it's not going to improve, so they didn't bother making a knas, which is the golol, there was no knas. So therefore, there's no question why, according to Rav, you're not allowed to take the base, because there's no improvement. They never made a fine on that. Rav held that they only made a fine on something that would improve.